Well, yeah, found the problem. We brought this vehicle in because we had a complaint about a wheel bearing noise, and I test drove it outside really quick and found out really fast, yeah, it's a bad wheel bearing. I put it up on the lift, and yeah, sounds like a bad wheel bearing. I didn't find anything else wrong with other wheel bearings, but I am a huge advocate for inspecting the entire vehicle, especially when you know you have an issue. You really want to get to know it and know what to expect from it. So I looked around and I found something that is, well, unexpected. It's more of a silent and hidden issue that surprised us. The owner was completely unaware of it, and it could be a bad thing if you let it go and don't notice it, because it could leave you stranded on the side of the road. Under the engine, I noticed the splash shield is soaked in oil, which led me to remove it so I can see what the problem is. With the shield down, I can see the issue, and no, it's not the oil leak. Type it in the comment section below if you can spot it. It's a little bit more hidden than that oil leak. Some problems are more difficult to spot than others. I like to call those hidden problems or silent problems because although they are an issue, they don't have any apparent symptom as you're just driving down the road. They don't have any sort of weird feel, they don't make any noise, and they definitely don't look like something's wrong unless you dig for it. In our case here, what would happen if this vehicle stayed as it is? Well, it could take a little bit of time, it could take a lot of time. I honestly can't tell you how long it would take, but what I think would happen is the radiator would start leaking coolant all over the place and therefore render the vehicle undrivable. Wherever it is, whenever it decides to break, that's where it stops. Well, yeah, found the problem, and maybe you guessed it, maybe you didn't, but if you thought radiator support, you're correct. Good thing I have a new one from oneauto.com to replace this one, and this is why I said that it would leak coolant, maybe soon, maybe a while in the future, but regardless, the radiator, AC condenser, any other cooler, actually we have an intercooler on this vehicle, it's a turbo vehicle, so there's a lot of weight just needed to be supported here, and it's not supported. The only thing holding everything on is the radiator hoses. So we have to remove what's left of this and then install the new one. Good thing about these radiator supports is a lot of times they're just bolted onto the frame rails or the frame itself, so you don't need a lot of fabrication, if any at all. Sometimes they're welded on, but like I said, most of the time they're just bolted on, so it should be an easy replacement. When dealing with a lot of rust like this, it's a good idea to wear some thicker gloves just to protect, and eye protection is strongly recommended. And when installing the new part, apply some anti-seize or grease to the surface to prevent further corrosion from building up. With our coolers properly supported again, we can get back to our original problem, which was the wheel bearing. That's what led us here in the first place. But before that, you might be asking, how can this rot out so badly and the rest of the car, actually I'm looking at it right now, is pretty clean for what it is. Minimal rust, if any at all. Well, there's one explanation that I can think of, and that is any areas or crevices that are surrounded by shields or even metal components that are, well, shielded. And by the way, this can apply to any type of vehicle. So you could have a truck, a sedan, station wagon, sports car, convertible, whatever you want to have. Well, what happens is debris, moisture, sand, even winter salt, if you live up in the northern climate, gets in there and it can't get out. And moisture builds up, rots out the metal. So a tip for you that I have is to use anything as simple as your garden hose. And when you wash your car, or maybe after you go through the car wash, you go home and you flush things out. So this might sound a little bit more complicated than it actually is, but all this means is you take it and you just blast water right at the radiators in the front, around the bumper cover, but on the inside. If you have a body-on-frame vehicle like a pickup truck or an SUV, you can actually flush the frame out. There's a bunch of holes all over the frame. That's normal, but you can stick the hose with water right in there and you'll see all the dirt just flush right out. So that's a little tip for you to keep your any metal component on the vehicle really nice and clean and rust-free. Back to the original problem that got us in here in the first place, the wheel bearing. I got a hub to go with it. It's so much easier to do the hub at the same time with press-in bearings. And to do the job right, I got some brakes, pads and rotors, because this rotor is in horrible shape, and yeah, it just wouldn't feel right for me to not do the brakes at the same time. I got all of this as a kit from oneauto.com, which makes it a whole lot easier to get everything you need in one go. So let's take all the old parts off, put new shiny parts on, and this car should be good to go.